Thank you for joining and watching. We're the Cyber Church of Christ. It's like a regular Church of Christ. We use the King James Version strictly. And normally we study topics, or we give, like today, sermons on topics. Today's topic is called reward. Is there a thing called reward in the Bible? Yes, there is. So here's what we're going to ask right off the bat here. What reward are you talking about? What reward? What has to be done to receive an award, and who's presenting the award? Who's the actual? Is there a person or a reason or a committee or something to get an award? I know how awards work on planet Earth. They give you an award for something. Usually it's some accomplishment. Anyway, we're going to answer these questions with scriptures. What reward are you talking about? Who receives it, who gives it out. All right, let's start off with who gives the spiritual awards. The first thing we're going to say is, hey, this is a spiritual award. Oh, but I know what a physical is, or carnal, but a physical award is like I get a trophy and give me a trophy. And then when my buddy comes over, I can say, hey, you see this award I got? And I'll have a trophy. Now, what's the difference between spiritual award and a physical award? Well, one of them I can see, the other one I can't. Just like anything else spiritual, you got the physical versus spiritual. And I'll tell you a story real quick. One of our members has trophies from different things from racing, and say, hey, one time I said, hey, you see this award here I got? It's from finishing second. And I go, okay, yeah. Well, the guy finished first actually cheated, and he knows he cheated, and I know he cheated, but he's got the award that says it's first place. My award that says second place is actually more valuable than his. So I go, oh, okay, well, that's the difference between a spiritual award and a physical award. The other guy got the physical award. This guy that I'm talking to gets the spiritual award. Okay, well, that's interesting. So it kind of prompted this sermon. Now let's look at, we're going to look at some red letter to begin with. Well, we usually print it off here in red when Jesus is talking. When he's talking, he's teaching. Or let's look at Matthew 16:27 about the spiritual award. For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. Well, you got a bunch of pronouns in there. What's this Son of Man? Well, that's what Jesus calls himself when he's performing the duties of our Savior, or what he's been. Actually, it's our Father has assigned him. Do you want to do this task of being sacrificed? He said, consider it all joy. So it goes, oh yeah, the Son of Man will be judging you. Well, isn't it you? Well, he likes to call himself Son of Man. That's his title to himself. Now, the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father. So that would still be the Son of Man. By the way, we're talking about Jesus, and he's going to end up being your judge in the judgment day. So we have come in his glory, his Father with his angels. What does the angels have to do with the judgment day, with the last day on planet Earth? A lot. You study angels with us, you'd see they have a lot to do when at the end of time and what they do at the judgment day. And right here is a good example. I'm coming with angels. Then he shall reward every man according to his works. Oh, that's when you have that underline. So I actually have to do something. Well, usually you give out an award because of an accomplishment, right? I mean, you accomplish something. So what do you got when you accomplish something? Well, you get an award at the end, a reward, or they'll say we're awarding this guy, this person, a particular trophy or something like that. Well, that's what award, it comes from, a reward. So we'll get a reward. Okay, what if I don't have any works? well, then I'd say you're not going to have much of a reward. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to start off the sermon with that. Let's start off the sermon with according to his works. Now, let's go ahead and go all the way to Revelation 22:12. So back in Revelation, there's red letter. Oh, yeah. You know, talking about the end of time and all and judgment day, things that Revelation has in it. Absolutely. Revelation 22:12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. Well, you just had according to his works in Matthew 16:27. You had this according to his works. And then you're going again with according as his work shall be. You do know this his is his and her. That's a generic. That means man, mankind. Include so don't when you say his, don't automatically assume it's male of the species. 9 times out of 10, it would be about mankind. And then the pronoun would say his, even though it involves female. So we're going to come quickly. Well, what's coming quickly? Well, the judgment. Well, it'll be the judgment. There's people that were born before Moses. Yeah. And their life ended and then we went pretty quick. Oh. So anyway, he says, I'm coming quickly. Reward is with me. What do you mean my reward? You told me up here every man was according to his work. Now you say my reward is with me. Oh, that's why. Your reward is to give. That's what you're doing. So you have the rewards, and then you're going to give the reward out to who? According as his work shall be. According as his work shall be. Okay. So yeah, he has a reward, and he's going to award man. He goes, hey, I have my reward with me. I have my angels with me. And, you know, I'm going to come quickly. It's going to be the judgment day before you know it. And according to his work, I'll give you the reward. Okay, well, that's something to keep in mind for the rest of the sermon here. All right, now we continue to serve. What is this serve? Well, I have in parentheses work. That's the work that we're talking about here, isn't it? We continue to work until the end to receive our spiritual award. Well, what do you mean? Well, you said you had a good year in 1984 and you can be judged on that and get your award. Well, wrong. Your works should be plural, shouldn't it? Shouldn't this works up here be plural? Yeah. And so what I'm going to do then is what? I'm going to be doing works until the end. And the end being what? Well, the end of your test, end of your life, end of your human life. You got a big life waiting for you in the hereafter. You got like a short life here. It goes quick. All right. It's Luke 6:23. Rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy. There's a colon there. For behold, your reward is great in heaven. All right, well, that's what I was going. When do I get this reward? You know, that's what I'm asking. You're doing a lesson on reward, and you said Jesus has a reward. He's bringing it with him. So I got that part. And then you're saying my reward is where now? It's in heaven. The reward is great in heaven. Wow. Well, I already thought it was going to be fantastic to be, dressed in white and being part of the persecution and then living with the angels and our Father, living in glory. Yeah. Well, isn't that your reward? Oh, well, yeah, I guess it is. Well, your reward great in heaven. So here's where your reward is, right here. Well, so that's the example I gave you about the guy who had the trophy. His reward says trophy says second place. The spirit says first place. Well, that's how we ought to feel on our planet Earth. We ought to look at, hey, you know what's real? My real reward is up there. And not only that, it's big. Yeah, great in heaven. For in like manner, after this colon, For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. So what fathers, what prophets, this small f you got there? Well, that's from the Old Testament. So, and the prophets wanted to know what? When is Jesus coming? When is he going? The Messiah will come and sacrifice himself. They're writing about it in the prophets because the Holy Spirit's telling them what to write. They don't know how it's going to go down, but they do know that the Messiah is coming. There'll be a judgment day and all. And you know what? Let's talk about a reward. So that's what you'll see. Even the prophets mentioned, including David and Ezekiel, Isaiah, you know what? Their actual lesson is about having a reward in the end of your life. I mean, that's what it boils down to. So that's what this like manner is. It's like that. You look on your reward. When do you get a reward here on planet Earth? Well, at the end. Because I don't get a reward for first place. We ain't even had the contest yet. No. And then we had the contest. And what we're going to do is we're going to judge this contest. And then we're going to give you your reward. Well, that's the way it works spiritually. The contest is what? Oh, your human life? Contesting who? You already know who your enemy is. It's Satan, seeing who what walketh about thinking he may devour. Yeah. You know what? If you're going to defeat this Satan guy, which you can't do that individually. You're doing it because you're going to keep the Father's will and keep Satan at bay. And then your rewards. Well, so you mean so the real deal is Satan trying to steal my reward that's in heaven? Yeah, that's what it boils down to. The reward, wait, he says, hey, I got a reward for you up here in heaven. Why don't you keep doing God's will? If you do the work of the church there, you have a reward up here. Guess what? Satan knows that. And Satan says, well, I ain't getting no reward. Well, I'm going to keep this guy from getting his or her reward. I mean, they're getting that. So what, he's some kind of jealous, conceited? Well, yeah, exactly what I am. So I don't like the idea of you getting a reward and me not getting a reward. So what I'm going to do is Satan and me and my fellows here, we're going to try to do everything we can to prevent you from collecting on this. When do you get the reward? At the end. At the end, it's like on planet Earth. When I have a contest, I get the reward. Okay, who had the highest average in bowling? They get the high reward. Well, you don't know that until the end. Okay, well, now Satan knows that there's a judgment day, and in the end, there's going to be rewards presented, and he ain't one of them. So the best thing for him to do is what? Prevent me from getting my reward. Okay, so you need to know that's what's going on. You got a reward that's great and is waiting for you in heaven. Jesus says, hey, I have it. What you already had the book of life, my book of works that's in there, and then you're telling me you also are in possession of the reward. He goes, yeah, the Father put me in charge of everything. So he gave you the rewards to hand out? Yeah. Oh, okay. That's why you mean the rewards with you. And then where it is great in heaven. Yeah, and the prophets wanted to know that. Prophets, even in the Old Testament, they wanted what? Well, they want to look into this reward thing. Okay, that's what we're doing today. Let's look at some more red letter here. Luke 6:35, it's about 12 verses down from the one we just read. But love your enemies and do good and lend, hoping for nothing again. So let me stop there a minute, this semicolon. Love your enemies. Well, that's not an have you seen my enemies? I mean, you're giving me a commandment to love. They're not lovable people, right? That's why I'm giving you the command. Your mom loves you and you love your mom. Whoop-de of whoop. That's not your enemy. You should love your mom. I'm telling you who love, it's not normally who you would love. And then on top of that, I'm going to use the word and. So even though you're loving your enemies, you're going to do good. Oh, so is this work that you're talking about that was up here? Yeah. You got a reward waiting on you. We already started off the sermon with according to your works, right? According to your work, according to your work. Now he's saying, hey, you need to do good. And what is this hoping for nothing again? That's what charity is. Well, I didn't have the word charity there, right? But if I'm doing a sermon on charity, I might look for this, that you gave out something and then you're hoping for nothing back. So if I loan you something, then you come back and say, hey, yeah, and then I'm going to borrow something from you. Well, that's good because then you're just swapping. Well, here, that's not charity. Charity is I give it away and then I hope I don't see it again or having nothing to do with it because they needed it. I had a chance to give. Oh, you're going to do good. Yeah, I want to do good. And you calling charity something good? Well, yeah. Okay, well, the word charity is not there, right? But it's not. It's saying hoping for nothing. That's where your charity comes in. All right. And your reward shall, what do you mean, shall be? I want my reward now. We already said your reward you don't get now. The game is still on. That's like saying, go ahead and award me first place. We're in the middle of the race. Yeah, but I want my reward now. You don't get your reward now. You get after when you see the checkered flag, then you know the race is over and we'll deal out rewards. What we're going to do to Judgment Day. We'll see how you finish the race. And then we hand out our reward. Oh, and you know what your reward is? We already mentioned it before. It's great. Great. You said up here, great. Luke 6:23, you said the reward was great. Now you're mentioning it again. Yeah. But actually, the reward you can't even imagine it. You have a human mind. Well, it doesn't even enter in your human mind how good it is. I can just use the word great. I tell you that's your reward. And the reward comes when? At the end of the race, at the end of the contest. That's when the reward is. You're not expecting a reward now, are you? We're in the middle of the race. Okay, and then who am I racing against? Well, actually, you're racing against Satan. He's not only that, he wants you. I mean, if you look at the narrow path, Satan wanted to knock off that narrow path. Well, what is that? Well, in my analogy I'm using today, it's the racetrack. So a car knocked off the racetrack's not going to win the race. Well, obviously, no. Oh, so Satan going, hey, you're in the race. You got a reward waiting for you at the end of the race. I'm going to knock you off the track. That's what he does to us spiritually. But guess what? We know that. Well, no, I'm going to do good. I'm going to do charity. I'm going to stay in what we'd call stay in my lane. I'm going to stay on track. I'm going to do the best I can. You know why? There's a reward waiting for me at the end. Oh, so the reward shall be great. Well, that's if, are you going to win? And ye shall be the children of the highest. Well, I thought we're all father. He's the father of all human beings. We're already his children. Yes, but this is talking about you're going to be children of the highest after you get your reward. Oh. Okay, so then now I'm a child of God living with our Father. That's right. Yeah, you were rewarded that at the Judgment Day. Okay, so you're going to be the children of the highest. Yes. For he is kind. Now, who is the he? The he is whoever this highest is. Yeah, so that should have been a capital H also. He, our Father, is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. What? No, see, I'm a Christian guy doing the right thing, wanting my reward in the end, and I'm doing good. Now, my neighbor is not a good person and doesn't even believe in the Father, doesn't even believe anything in the Bible. Okay. And what about it? Well, he still gets blessed. He gets blessed with housing and automobiles, and and if you're counting things, he gets more than I get. Yeah. So you're saying the Father's being kind? Yeah. And he doesn't even believe in he's not even thanking the Father. That's right. So he's going to be kind to the unthankful. I mean, I'm thinking of him every day for what I have. So that's what you're supposed to do. You're not comparing yourself to your neighbor, are you? I gave you the guy to compare yourself to, my son. Okay, how you doing on that? Well, I switched the gauge over from your son to my neighbor, and I go, hey, I'm doing good here. Well, yeah, that's because you're comparing yourself to the wrong thing. Compare yourself to my son sitting next to me. Now tell me how you doing. Okay. So our Father's kind unto don't let that fool you. Just because your neighbor has the Cadillac in the mansion, he's got a castle and a Rolls Royce. Yeah. Well, the Father sure is kind to him. Yeah, and actually he's an evil person. Okay, well, guess what? We got a scripture that says the Father's still kind to the unthankful and to the evil. Well, that's pretty interesting. I was thinking they're a bad guy, then bad stuff happens. Good guy, good stuff happens. Well, what kind of test is that? That's not what the test is. Test is you're going to be surrounded by evil and then told to do good. Oh, already, yeah, your neighbor is unthankful and evil. Yeah, we got that. And you know what? Father's kind to them too. That's what kind of father you have. All right, so we're going to do good. We're going to wait on our reward. All right, now let's look here. Hebrews 11:6. So we did the first 5 verses, a red letter, and the rest, we'll look at the rest of the New Testament. Hebrews 11:6, which is fairly common verse used, especially in Church of Christ. Hebrews 11:1 and 11:6. Hebrews 11:6, but without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that that diligently seek him. Oh, so he's a rewarder. Well, I thought that the judge, Jesus, my judge, my high priest, he has the reward with him. Yeah. Where do you get the reward? Oh, from our Father gave him the reward to give to us. Yes, he's the rewarder. Okay. And you're going to give this reward out to who, you said? Them that diligently seek him. Huh. Wow. Well, you got him, and then you use cometh to God, pronoun, he pronoun. Huh. Well, yeah, because you're going to learn Bible with the Cyber Church of Christ. We're going to point out pronouns. Why? Because the Bible's pronoun heavy. Part of studying is, who is this pronoun referring to? And then you go figure it out. Okay, well, this would be him, would be our Father. I'm going to come to our Father. I believe in my Father, and then he's a rewarder. Oh, yeah, well, I'm seeking the truth, okay, well, then we'll reward you something. So there's your rewarder, the person giving it out. Okay, well, that's interesting. All right, let's look at a couple more verses here. 1 Corinthians 3:14. If any man's work abide, which we did that in detail last week about abide, living in, being abide, where is your humble abode, that type of deal. If any man's work abide, so my work is actually alive and living somewhere. Well, yeah, right now, while you're on planet Earth, you're doing a thing called building. Okay, what am I building upon? You said I'm building on something. Yeah, your work. If it's gonna stay, and they're gonna stay living, yeah. Well, then when you built them on, then what's gonna happen? Well, you receive a reward. Okay, so once again, you've tied this reward to work. Yeah. Who gets the trophy at the end of the race? Nobody in the audience. Oh, no, it'd be one of the competitors. They're just getting the reward. So you know what you need to do? You need to keep this work going. You're not quitting the race, are you? You know, if you got knocked off the track and then you quit, well, Satan won that. And then my work, I'm going to keep doing this work. Yeah, and Satan's going to want to try to offset this work. Even if you've done something, he goes, well, maybe tomorrow I can get after him. So there's no quit in that dog. Satan's going to continue to do what? See that I'm on the straight and narrow path, to do whatever he can to knock me off that path. Why? Because he don't want you to get the reward. What is the shall? It means that's the future. You will receive a reward. You know, everybody on the racetrack, do you know that they all know that there's a first place reward? Yes. And that's what they're going for? Yes. What they'll be remembered for? Yes. Oh. Well, how do you think it works spiritually? Yeah, you stay in the game. You're gonna stay in the race. Yeah. Okay. Well, so I had a little bit of a breakdown in between. So what? Get back on the path. We'll still put you in the race. You got a reward waiting on you. Yeah, you don't quit. So that's the underlying theme here. Romans 4:4. Now to him that worketh is the reward not reckoned of grace, but of debt. Oh, so you're not going to just give me a reward because you feel sorry for me. No, but there's lots of religions that like to preach grace. And you just get into the grace of God. You can get in heaven. God is love. And by grace, you'll make, everybody will be saved. Well, that's not how it works. Oh, it's not, the reward doesn't come from grace. What? No, not reckoned of grace. You don't get the reward because you just thought it'd be fun to give it to you. No, you know what? You're paying a debt. You're doing what? Work. You're doing work. Oh, this whole sermon here full of this work. How are you going to work? Work off this debt. And then what do you get? A reward. Oh, no, I'm not just giving it out. I'm not just giving out a reward. All right, so I get first place for finishing last. No, you don't get first place. You don't get a reward for finishing last. No, we have the reward here. But you know what we've tied to this reward? This thing called work. Oh, work. Seek. You got all these action verbs. These action verbs have the reward. Well, of course, the ones that did all the work and got all the deal and then they won, they get the reward. Well, that's how it works in the carnal world. Yes. Now, when do I get this reward, you said? That's how we're going to end today's sermon, or close to the ending here. When? Well, you've already mentioned it a little bit up there about heaven. In Colossians 3:24, knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Christ. Oh, well, serving is what? Working, of course. It's work, work, work. You're doing spiritual work for a father, or basically it's like you got hired. When did I get hired? Well, when you came out of the watery grave of baptism and became into the kingdom and you were known of God. Well, I mean, you signed up for duty, like going to the recruiting office and signing up. Oh, well, now you're working for the United States government. Okay, so once you got baptized, got in the kingdom, well, you're working for the Father now. Okay, and then what do I get at the end? A great, I mean, it's so good, I can't even tell you. Let me just put it in English words. Great reward. That's what you're going to get. Okay, and what is this inheritance thing? Well, if you're going to do a sermon, that's a whole nother. You can see how I've got 6, 7 topics in this one topic. Inheritance is the great inheritance. I'm an heir. Well, yeah. Part of your inheritance is that you get a reward. Oh, where does it say that? Right here, Colossians 3:24. You shall receive the reward of the inheritance. Oh, so being an heir and being adopted into the kingdom And I'm now, what is like, is that like being written in the will? Yeah. Do you know where the will is? It's up here in heaven. You know where the names are? Book of life. You know where the works are? Yeah, another book that he opens. I mean, I read that in Revelation. It has a book of works. Well, what do you know? This whole reward sermon deal has works all through it. Oh, yeah. You know, it takes a lot of work to win a race. It sure does. Yeah, you got to overcome all kinds of obstacles. What do you think life is? Yeah. So, anyways, my sermon's not even called the race, but sure sounds like it. Well, yeah, it does, because that's what life is. It's a race to the end, staying on the track. And you know what's waiting at the end of the race? My reward. How'd you get your reward? I inherited it. That's how. Father gave the rewards out, told the son, here's your rewards to give folks. Oh, who are you going to give them to? Well, whoever your heirs are. Okay, well, that's not even today's sermon. Well, it sure sounds like today's sermon. So works and inheritance, all that is, and then charity you mentioned earlier, and doing good. Yeah, all that's tied up into your reward. Okay, well, that's interesting. Well, let's look at this long verse here. Revelation 11:18, talking about the in the end. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead. I'm going to look at that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward. Okay, well, let me stop there. I'm not in the middle of this verse, but you said some things we'll look at here. The nations were angry. The Father's wrath is here. Time of the dead. What's this? There is no, once you die, there ain't no time. Oh, yeah. Did I mention that the time of the dead is the judgment? Oh, so it's time to be judged. Yeah, that's the time of the day. The earth's not there anymore. So all humans have what's called human death. They've all died, human body. Yeah, but you know what time they have left? Time for judgment. Oh, that's where this should be judged comes in. Yeah, they'll be judged. So I never heard the judgment called the time of the dead. Well, that's what's written in here. Yeah. And then thou, who is that? Who is that pronoun? Oh, that's the Christ, your high priest, your judge. Yeah, remember the Father's already given him all the awards to hand out. Oh, and he's going to do what? Give. He already mentioned the word give. Yeah, why would my high priest keep my reward? He's not keeping my reward. He's going to give it out. He's going to give it to me. Okay, well, who are you giving these rewards to again? Oh, yeah, we'll get to that right here. Unto thy servants, prophets, and to the saints. We had a lesson on saints. I mean, that's right. And them that fear thy name. So fear God, keep his commandments. Yeah. Small and great. You talking about the human beings? Yes. And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Okay, well, that happens to, what do you mean? The Father's the one destroying the earth. Well, you're looking at it physically. Yeah, the whole, well, the same as science says, the earth ends when the collapse of the universe. So it'll be a big collapse, fire brimstone deal, and then Jesus folds it up, and then what? Well, it's time to hand out rewards. What do you think the judgment is? We're handing out rewards. Oh, the contest is over? Yeah, that's when we hand out the rewards. Oh, and you're giving it to who now? Servants. You're not talking about this work thing? Yes, this work deal over and over has to do with servant. You notice how servants are tied to what? Is work, 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 work. Oh, supposed to be doing God's work. Yes, that's what a servant is. the prophets, the one you mentioned earlier, Ezekiel and Isaiah and those guys. Yeah. They have a reward waiting on them. Yeah, according to this. And saints, okay, well, I consider myself a saint because I'm in the kingdom. That's right. Are you going to stay in the kingdom? Well, yeah, that's the plan. Okay, well, you have a guy that wants to kick you out of the kingdom, don't you? Yeah. And then you don't get what? I don't get my reward. Anyway, I'm going to keep my eye on the reward and know that that's just an obstacle I got to overcome. So if you're going to use this racing analogy, it would be what? Got a flat tire. And what I'm going to do is just replace the tire and then get back out on the track. Well, that's what we do as Christians. Oh, well, you failed. Yeah, but then I asked for forgiveness of sins. My sin, because of my faith, I know my sin got forgiven. And what are you doing? I'm back on the racetrack. Well, because why? I want to get this reward at the end. At the end of the race, there's a big reward waiting on me. Actually, it's a great reward. And I'm still driving for that. But you hit an obstacle. Hit all kinds of obstacles. So what? I'm gonna stay in the game. All right. So you're one of the saints. Yeah, and them that fear thy name. Fear me and keep my commandments. That's what that is. Yeah, people kept his commandments. Okay. So that's who shall get the reward. Yes. And that this judged here is past tense. Well, yeah. Well, it's the judgment day, names in the book of life. We open up the book of works and go, this person gets a reward. When? Well, after the contest is over, after it's been judged. So somebody judging the contest? Yes. You're a high priest. Yeah. And he says, hey, you know what? I'm doing the judgment, but I got my reward sitting here. I'm going to be giving them out. Okay, well, that's nice. All right, let's look at here kind of a bit of a warning thing at the end, is that our spiritual award can be canceled. Well, how'd that get? Well, a while ago you mentioned you dropped out of the race. Yeah. Okay, when you dropped out of the race, you get a award? No, we're award. No, but the guys are still in the race. Oh, yeah. So you canceled out your award. I did. Yeah, you said you went off the track and didn't want to get back on the track, back in the race. Oh, okay. So if my award's been canceled? Yeah, because he says, hey, I should be giving out rewards, okay, after the judgment. So keep that in mind. Okay. Now, it can be taken away, it can be canceled. Let's see what this says. Colossians 2:18. Let no man beguile you. Hold on, what's this beguile? Well, it's like the first place we mentioned it was beguiled Eve in the garden. And this beguile is what? Tricked you. Oh, well, you got like some kind of sign on the racetrack that says turn here, and it's not really where I'm supposed to turn. Yeah, I tricked you. Okay. Why are you going to do that? Well, they're out there doing it because it wouldn't have a commandment. This is a commandment. Yes, just gave you a commandment. Let no man trick you. No man beguile you of your reward. Okay, so my high priest says, hey, I'm going to give you your reward. It's going to be after the judgment. It's because you finished the race. Yeah, and after you did get tricked or got knocked out or whatever it is, you got back up and got back in the race. So you can still get your reward. That's right. Well, don't let any man now trick you out of that. Well, how would he do that? Well, it's in this verse. Voluntary humility. Okay, well, that's good. So me being a nice guy and leaving my money to charity and charitable organizations and all that, that's how I'm going to volunteer my humility. That's right. And now you got your reward. Mankind thinks you're a great guy, and you gave away your all your stuff to charity there, didn't you? Volunteered humility. Did you do the work of the Father? No, I didn't do the work of the Father, but you know what? I had voluntary humility. Okay. Well, that's part of the trick. Oh. And then what about this worshiping of angels? Well, are there fallen angels? Well, yeah, I mentioned earlier you ought to study angels with us. It seems that angels come up a lot in our sermons. Oh, worshiping of angels. Why would I worship an angel? Well, there's people that do that. Well, what if Satan has a guy set up as a fake Jesus and said, hey, worship that? Well, then I'd be worshiping an angel. That's right. You know what that is? It's a big trick. That's a beguile thing. And you're telling me what? I just gave you the commandment. Let no man trick you. You're not supposed to get beguiled. You got your reward's at stake. Do you want the reward or not? It's there waiting on you. And what you have to do is what? Finish the race. You finish the race. The reward's there. Don't let this be true. Don't do this voluntary. You're going to do the work of the Father. You're going to be worshiping angels? No, I'm going to worship our Father. And then what do you say here? Intruding into those things which he hath not seen. Oh, who is this he? Well, that's this no man thing. Oh, the guy tricking me. Yeah, he's intruding that he had not seen, and then vainly puffed up by his flesh. You know what? If you just do voluntary humility, God will see that and put you into heaven. Oh, that's your trick. We have one. Okay, well, that's kind of a meaty verse there. I know. That's why I have it at the end. Oh. So yeah, there's someone out there. They know you got to. Does Satan know about this reward? Yes. He knows you're going to be rewarded with in the end. Yes. So he doesn't want that. No, he ain't getting no reward. Why should you get it? So that's what he's going to do is say, hey, prevent this guy from getting his reward is waiting on him. Jesus has it, going to hand it out. I want to make sure he don't get it. Okay, well, guess what? I know that. So no, I don't want to fall. I'm gonna obey this command here. Let no man beguile you. Okay, well, I didn't know that was a command. Well, you know it now. Yeah. We have a command that says don't have anybody trick me out of my reward. That's correct. Okay, well, that's interesting. Let's finish here. Hebrews 10:35. Cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward. Confidence. Well, yeah. Isn't that why you stuck? Why did you stay in the race? Because I'm confident I got a reward waiting on me. Oh, this is not a commandment again, is it? I believe it is. It says, cast not away. It's a command, right? What am I not casting? What am I going to cast away? Your confidence. Well, anyway, John, I'm not going to make it in the end. I won't get saved. Okay, well, then you don't sound too confident. Well, your faith is supposed to give you confidence, isn't it? And the fact that you know you have this reward, that should strengthen your confidence. Yeah, I'm going after that reward. What kind of reward do you say it was? Great. You've mentioned that 2 or 3 times in this sermon. Sure did. He says you have great. This recompense, don't we spell that with an S here? Yeah, if you looked in like Webster's dictionary, you wouldn't see the CE, it'd be an SE. In the Bible, King James, you'll have both. Some recompense with an S, some with a C. You might find that interesting. And recompense is what? To pay out, to give someone. Also, there's a recompense. Well, yeah. And there's also recompense for evil. Yeah, there's evil for evil. So there you go. So I got some commandments in there. First of all, I got a reward waiting on me. I know who has it. I know who's giving it out. I know what I got to do to get it in the end. And I know I got an enemy out there that says they don't want me to get this reward. Yeah, you have a great reward waiting. Well, Satan knows there's a great reward waiting on me. He is getting no part of my reward. So what I'm going to do then is do everything I can to make sure you don't get the reward. Okay, well, the Father gave me a commandment, said, hey, don't cast away your confidence. You got confidence, this rewards are waiting on you. Don't lose that. What do you mean don't lose it? Cast not away. He just gave you the commandment. You're not going to get tricked. Don't give it away. Keep confident. You know what? You keep this confident, keep your faith up. Guess what you're going to have? Great recompense of reward. Anyway, I hope you liked it. End of today's sermon. Hope you got something out of it. But just remember the theme. The theme is like racing. I'm on the track. I'm trying to win. I've got obstacles. People on the track trying to knock me off. Which is Satan, trying to knock me off the track. And then I'm running into obstacles, but I'm staying in the race. Why are you staying in the race? Because I got a great reward waiting on me. Anyway, I hope you got something out of today's sermon. And we're the Cyber Church of Christ. You can look us up and also contact us anytime at cybercochrist@gmail. And we'll be happy to correspond with you. But we'd love to have you study with us and join us, or even if you could join us as a member, that would be fantastic. Anyway, don't cast away your confidence. You got a reward waiting on you. I hope you have a great day and you watch some more of our videos.